Hello again everyone, and thanks for joining. Today we've got a Roco model to have a look at. It's this BE46 electric locomotive and it's of the Swiss Railways. Obviously I've got this second hand and this box is looking pretty bad. It's got some tape holding it together here in the corner and also at this corner here, and it's got some really bad shelf wear as well. I guess it's indicative of its age. This model is 04191A in the Roco range, and normally when it has an A there it means it comes in different liveries as well, so this might not be the only colour that you can get this model in. Anyway, let's get this box open and we'll have a look at what we've got inside. So first of all, we've got this instruction sheet which shows a photograph of the locomotive here, and it's got some details in German, English, and I think this is French over here. So it's quite good because it gives you a history of the locomotive here, and on the back it's talking about how this can pick up from the overhead electrics as well as two-rail operation, which is really good. And this here is talking about how to change traction tires if you need to. We also have this photocopy which has a really bad picture of the locomotive here, but it's talking more about assembly instructions and how to take this model apart. And on the back it's got some more really badly presented pictures here, so they could have invested in a bit of a better photocopier for this. But anyway, this is interesting that it's in the packaging. Here we have the model in its polystyrene tray, and it already looks really impressive and it's very heavy as well. So I'm going to get this out carefully and then we'll get a look closer up. So here we have the model out of the box, and already it's looking very characterful. What a really interesting prototype this is, and also an interesting model of it. So let's have a look closer up. We'll start at this end. So this model has a lot of detail here, which I guess is indicative of the prototype. So here we have some windows with flush fit glazing, and you can see the windscreen wipers molded into the plastic, but they've got these little hoods over the top which give it a really characterful looking face to the front of this locomotive. We've also got these three little lamps here which look as though they're added on parts. You can actually move them around a little bit, and there's a very nice number plate right in the middle there. This particular one has got a little bit of dust going on here in the corners, but the main moulding has got a lot of detail. This handrail moulded in all around the front of the locomotive. As we look down the side of this locomotive, the door here is very nicely moulded, and it's got these handrails here moulded into the main piece of plastic, and they've been picked out in yellow paint, although it has worn off a little bit on the one at the front of the cab. There's some transfers here, barely readable with the naked eye, and then we've got some detail all the way down at the side of the body. I think this is like a radiator or something on the side here, which is moulded in, and it's done really well. There's a lot of relief on that and really nice rivet detail, and these ribs and other rivet detail inside of the body are picked out very nicely. There's a number of windows which got nice glazing on them and these metallic bars on the inside. And then as we look in the middle of this locomotive, it has the number here which is starting to get worn away a little bit, so that's just been moulded into the main piece of plastic and then picked out with this gold paint. But some of the numbers are wearing away, but you can still see it says 12323. It has this other part moulded in at the top there, and then this panel here which has got some transfers on it which are very faint, and I can't really read those at all. You can maybe pick them up on the video. And then as we move further along the locomotive, there's some more graphics printed in here, and then another door. No handrails on this one though. And then starting to look up top, we've got this really bonkers looking multi-level piece put on here which looks really cool, and it's got these red parts at the bottom that have been picked out, so that's really nice. It's got these parts on the side here all the way along which have been added in, and it has this set of pantographs with a really impressive array of electrical gear up top here. This part here is the switch where you can switch between overhead and two-rail operation. I'm guessing it's going to be in two-rail operation. We'll give it a try in a little minute. And these pantographs are made of metal and are very delicate, but really very nicely presented. They are sprung loaded and they look really good. And moving down to the other end of the locomotive, you've got another pantograph as well. You've got this orangey cable running the whole length here as well through these plastic insulators, which looks great. And then another one of these multi-level things at the end here. Oh, apologies, I don't know what that is. It's possibly some kind of cooling thing. Now looking down on the chassis, we do see that there is a bit of damage here. So this buffer beam extends out here on this side. This side has been broken off. Even though this is metal, it must have taken a bash in the past. It's not surprising that this is broken off because this is a very heavy model. It has this here which I think is representing maybe snow plows or something. Some of the paint has come off here. It's probably come off with age. And it also looks as though the coupling is broken off as well. This locomotive has been through the wars a little bit. And then as we look at the main part of the drive here, this is a piece which can articulate, no problems at all. It's got some detail moulded into the metal there. And then it has this really detailed and over the top. And it has this part here where it's got the drive, and this has got some really nice attention to detail moulded in here. and you can see the drive shaft going out to both these two wheels here. It did mention about traction tires, and you can see that it has one on this wheel here, but it doesn't have on the other wheels. In the middle, there's this additional part that's been added on here with some nice detail on it, and this box here is very convincing as well with some nice rivet detail and brackets. Then we have another drive part here, which is exactly the same as the front one, and you can see that the outside wheel has got the traction tire on it. And then finally, this front little truck here, which does have the coupling on it here, but you can see that this is taking a bash as well. It's a little bit broken there, and the buffer has come off as well. So it's a bit of a shame. It's been through the wars, this locomotive, but I think we should give this a try and see if it runs. Okay, we've got it on the test track, and we'll give it some power and see what happens. So fantastic, this runs really good. I'm really impressed. Just straight away it started up, and it can crawl along at a really nice slow speed as well. Even the 3 little lamps on each end work as well. I'm really impressed with that. So the mechanics of this model are faring really well, even though this is quite an old model. Anyway, let's put this on the scales and we can find out how much it weighs. So this locomotive comes in at 475 grams. So this BE46 from Roco International is a fantastic locomotive in my mind. It's such a characterful looking thing, it's so quirky and odd, and it looks great as it travels along the track with its valve gear going up and down. This model really impresses with the amount of detail on it, especially on the top of the locomotive, which, let's be fair, is what we mostly see with our model railways. But things like the lamps on the front of this locomotive are fantastically modelled and even work as well. And how the model articulates and gets around corners is really quite ingenious as well. So this is a really impressive model. I'm thrilled to be able to have a look at it today and run it on the test track as well. This particular one has had a bit of damage here and there. I guess you've got to look after this model if you have it, because it is quite heavy. Even if you don't model this era of Swiss railways, this model is sure to be impressive on your layout. So in that respect, I would seek it out and add it to your collection, especially if you like quirky things and things that are a little bit older as well. Let me know what you thought about my analysis of this model in the comments below. I'd love to hear. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps this channel grow. I'll put this on the turntable so you can see all the way around. But that's it for today. Thanks for watching. See ya!